So this morning, when we were getting the kids ready for school, we heard the sirens and the local volunteer fire department started going past our house. And my wife, as she usually does, turns on the scanner and heard that it was a barn fire not too far from our place. And that's always a concern. Barn fires, can be really devastating for a farm operation, especially if you're a dairy farm and it's the dairy barn. That's really huge. So fires are one of those things that can and do happen, and there isn't necessarily a lot you can do to prevent a fire, but there are some things that you can and should do in terms of making sure you're set up from an insurance perspective before you have a fire. In fact, just this morning, I had a client in. He was a retired farmer who had a fire. He sold most of the farm and built a kind of a nice sized pole barn shop where he had like his utility tractor, his lawnmowers, motors, small engines, things like that. And he had a fire. And because his insurance agent didn't really do a very good job of making sure he had the right insurance, he had a lot of items destroyed in that fire that ultimately weren't covered, or at least the insurance company is refusing to cover. And the other thing to keep in mind is how do you keep track of what you have? It can be, if you've lived at one spot for a long time or any kind of amount of time, you accumulate things over time. And this is true both in your house as well as out in the barn or out in a machine shed, things like that. So here's a really easy thing you can do. That would be a really good time to pull out your phone or video camera of some sort and just walk around your house. Walk through all the rooms and just narrate it if necessary. Everything that's in there: clothes, furniture, knickknacks, appliances, tools, anything of value. And that's, I think, especially true in your barn and machine shed, and maybe more so in your machine shed, right? And it's really, really important that if a fire happens, you have the ability to kind of recreate that list. And a video is just a great way to do that. So take some time, maybe put it on your calendar, put a reminder on your phone or whatever, once a year or whatever, and just do that. Just go around inside and outside of your buildings, inside and outside of your house. Try to document as best you can the stuff that you have, so at least you have something to work with when it comes time, if it becomes time to try to submit an itemized list of all the things you lose